Hello everyone, very good evening. Welcome to Shri Primetime News. I'm Surasi Gunasekara. Let's look at the headlines first.
Terrorism that has been scaring the foreign countries, President says. President had secretly shouted the opinion of the Supreme Court, Sarathan Silva said. Mangala said never join the ruling party.
Mahinda Rajapaksa has said that the terrorism that has been defeated at Sri Lanka is scaring foreign countries even now.
Vietnam Jatika Nayaka Ho Chi Minh Veerage.
While meeting the Department of Agriculture official yesterday at his Templetree House, the President has made this above statement. Further to the above statement, Mahinda Rajapaksa has said, "We cannot allow the Sri Lanka to become another Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan or another Egypt. In order to protect the nation which has been got over, the victory has to be protected by making all the necessary devotion through the Mahinda Chintana policy program. The forgotten rights are remembered once again."
Devant Adhirajya Virodhi Sapnage Dunu Nayakik.
Sri Lankan government denies the request made by the UN General Secretary Ban Ki-moon.
UN chief called upon Lankan government to grant permission towards UNHRC investigations panel to visit their country to hold further inquiries on war crimes allegations. Lankan government strongly denies this request and also noted investigations panel failed to grant opportunity towards Lankans testify against the LTT movement. Government also blamed the UN, accepted the request made by Anandi Sasadaran, wife of former LTT senior leader Elisa.
Former Chief Justice Sarath N. Silva said the President has secretly sought the opinion Supreme Court about the constitutionality of the third term before anyone could go to the court against it.
Speaking at the Common Opposition rally to abolish executive presidency, former Chief Justice went on to say the Supreme Court had informed that all of the 10 judges signed the opinion. "Unfortunately, we have no place to go now," he said. Mr. Silva said that for the first time in history, a verdict of the Supreme Court was announced in Parliament.
Earlier, 5 Tamil fishermen were sentenced to death by Sri Lankan court for alleged drug trafficking.
Many politicians welcome the Sri Lankan government's decision to free the fishermen without any conditions by the Rajapaksa's government. But while reacting to the reports of the Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa's willingness to pardon 5 Tamil fishermen who are on the death row, the MDMK chief Vaiko on Wednesday alleged that Rajapaksa is enacting a drama. After participating at the World Tamil Conference, which was held at the Penang in Malaysia, the MDMK General Secretary returned to Chennai this morning.
Senior Minister of the government and the former leftist leader Athauda Senaviratne today said that the government decided to call for a presidential election in January to avert international conspiracies against the country.
This is the first time spokesperson of the government has cited international conspiracies as the reason for a premature presidential election. He further added that the people of Sri Lanka should turn the presidential election into an opportunity to show that the people's support still lies with President Mahinda Rajapaksa and his government. Some countries are initiating international inquiries against Sri Lanka as President Mahinda Rajapaksa did not bow down to international pressure to end the 3-decade-long war. This is the best opportunity to defeat their efforts by ensuring President Mahinda Rajapaksa's victory, Senaviratne said, addressing a press conference in Colombo this morning.
United National Party parliamentarian Mangala Samaravira says that he will never join the ruling party for any purpose.
Journalists questioned the parliamentarian on recent media reports on his decision to join the government and obtaining ministerial post. Parliamentarian strongly denies the media reports and said, "I didn't meet any government ministers. I'm willing to obtain ministerial post in the UNP government. In the recent past, several media organizations released false news about me and I strongly condemn such activity," he said.
The government-affiliated party Jatika Hela Urumaya, which is concerned over lack of satisfactory response from the President SLPF bigwigs with regard to their proposals, have contentious discussion over fielding Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka at the forthcoming presidential election in order to take forward their party policy stance.
However, the majority of the JHU have agreed to support if Venerable Maduluwave Sobhithero of UNP Leadership Council Chairman Karu Jayasuriya enters the fray against President Mahinda Rajapaksa as the common candidate. It is suggested to field Minister Ranawaka as presidential candidate only if someone other than Venerable Sobhithero or MP Jayasuriya is named as the common candidate. JHU chairperson Venerable Athuraliya Ratanathero has said that several significant decisions would be taken after today with regard to the forthcoming presidential election and other political issues.
Coming up next, island-wide in few seconds.
3 persons found guilty of committing murder 19 years ago in the Setapala area in Mampuriya was sentenced to death by the Chilaw High Court today. Mr. Jayasingam, who until recently served as chairman of EB Crazy and the Lankem Group of companies, passed away after a brief illness. CID arrested a suspect in connection with the murder of a female undergraduate, Varapitiya Ukkuwela Matale. According to the police media spokesman SSP Ajit Rohana, the suspect, who is a resident of Hokandara area, was arrested while he was temporarily residing in Matale. The Students' Association alleged that the students' movement in Rajarata University has been destroyed. The Students' Union of the university stated that the monument had been destroyed at the time security guards were also on duty. Police have arrested another 3 persons who brought firearms for the illegal factory of Atakalampanna that was raided recently at Madampe in Rakwana.
US President Barack Obama is holding talks with Myanmar President Thein Sein hours after accusing government of backsliding on reforms.
Mr. Obama is in Naypyidaw for the East Asian Summit. It follows Wednesday's Asian meeting. In an interview with the Thai-based Burma's website ahead of his arrival, he said that progress had been made. But he said reform momentum had stalled in Myanmar and that there had even been some steps backwards. Burma is still at the beginning of the long and hard journey of the renewal and reconciliation, Obama said on an interview.
Scientists are facing a tense wait to learn the fate of a robot probe that made a historical landing of the comet, but did not stay in a place as planned.
Data from the file craft indicates it lands at least 3 times on the comet after harpoons failed to attach into the surface on the first attempt. Piles sent images for the icy grey comet during its approach. The chief of the European Space Agency said the landing, after a decade-long journey, was a big step for humans. ESA Director General Jean-Jacques Dordan described it as a great day, not only for ESA, but I think for the world. Scientists are hoping the probe will analyze the comet's surface to yield insight into the origins of our solar system more than 4.5 billion years ago.
Sri Lankan cricket has announced the requirement of the former cricketer Jeremy Snape as the psychologist of the national cricket team for enhance the performance of the individual of national cricket team.
Jeremy Snape's inclusion with the national setup will be a new experience for the Sri Lankan cricket as Sri Lanka failed to succeed in several World Cup finals under pressures. Accordingly, Jeremy Snape will be with the Sri Lankan team for 17 days from 25th November to 11th December 2014. Jeremy will be able to enhance individual performance of the national team with the World Cup in mind, says Sri Lanka Cricket in their statement. This move is born to add value to the system at the circular stage and derive the maximum output of players to face any challenges in the upcoming tours and the World Cup 2015 in particular, Sri Lanka Cricket further added.
That's all from Shri News Desk today. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.